Joy Show. Working with the compass. This is the latest one for my darling. Another darling birthday. So as I'm seeing it, even when we wobble, everything inside is really stable. So using the compass, I'm realizing what our opportunity is here in this age and moment is that we're coming through time, and it may be a circle. So we're learning how to live in reality sphered. Reality sphered, reality sphered, reality sphered, reality sphered. And then we can turn on the light. So with what we're coming through and the information that's coming to light, I mean, it really is an information war. You know, it's a restructuring of information. So in a sphered reality, we are the universal time, each one of us. So right now what we're learning to do is to come to terms with the information coming from the past. And right now the information coming from the past has been full of errors, misinformation, missed information, as I say sometimes. So when we come to terms with the information in time, whatever we put behind us, we can draw on. Whatever is coming from ahead of us, time works through this way, from the past to the future, when we're standing in the center of time. It moves in a direction. Not that we can't, through consciousness, find ourselves in all places in time and work in it, work with it. But right now what we need to do is learn how to assimilate the information coming through, like all of the abuse, okay? We have to filter the ideas of this abuse through the system and reharmonize what's happening. The light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds, the power of God protects me, and the presence watches over me. In my prayers recently, in my meditative space, I encompass the universe. I have it all within me in the spectrum of light and harmonics. So if I'm blessed and protected by the Great Spirit, and everything is within me, you see how we can encompass a reality that we are the 0 point creators of reality, and we are all the center of the universe. So when we learn how to project light and order into the universe versus this random outer experience, we create a balanced world. So I was thinking of this as a projector of consciousness and how it's moving through us. But we've been raised in an outermost world. This is an innermost paradigm, that we create the world from the innermost. And yet we were steered in a world that was giving us all the data from the outside and invalidating our innermost data and making us fragmented and disoriented and basically shattering our consciousness so that they could steer us. But once we're inside the context of our own spheric reality, we cannot be steered, we cannot be altered from the inside. So basically, I get a lot of insights and just feeling this love and, joy of order and symmetry coming through me at all times. It's a song, it's a dance, it's a poem, it's a dialogue with truth. Hallelujah. And so much truth is coming to light. And we were raised on lies and a half. Therefore, in our culture right now, we're having to reckon the fact that truth seems like a lie and lie seems like the truth. But when we're referenced from the inside out in our first information coming from within in the information age, the truth comes from within. Therefore, when I'm in the context of my heart as the center, as start position, I am here. Localize mind within the universal context, and then frame it spherically, a spherical reality by the relationships and the facets of my dimensional mind. My heart relates to what is above me in the concept of gravity and the weightlessness of the universal component that I am of, coming out of, that placed the earth here and placed me on the earth. It's a relationship dimensionally that I have with my universe. And I'm at home here. I'm entitled to be here. From the inside out. I'm learning to be entitled. I mean, this is a thawing, a deep thaw. Talk about an ice age. To just put ourselves on ice for all the shock and trauma that they were putting through the projector of reality here, undermining us. Everything below the heart here been stolen and manipulated, and they cast us up into the upper realms, really the afterlife, it's going to be working out for you guys, but really right here is just evil and just horrible, so just deal with it. And now they're just going for the grandstand of sucking us into their outermost world of lies and manipulation and disconnection and fragmentation, disorientation, disintegration. We are one inside our own consciousness, and we just have to, it's like a kit from IKEA. We have to reassemble ourselves from the inside out. And I'm here to help. I am just launching this work as my divine work, because it's really, I've been speaking these things for many years, but the way the dollar was framed in the false and fiat system, and my work would not be valid, because it's too true. They only sold lies mostly last. I mean, if you were selling the truth from the heart up, you were fine to do it. But as soon as you wanted to occupy the lower dimensions in divinity, that's when you were taken to the other paradigm and abused. But no mas. We are now here to occupy and bring the sun and the gold back into the joy of existence. We're here to bring in the water of our intimate nature as a full conduit to our sustaining humanity, the way we exchange our emotional love to each other. The compassion we're going to share coming out of this story of abuse and terror. But when we put it in our consciousness behind us, from the hemispheric crosshairs of consciousness, where heart is at the center, and that's the hub where you can just surveil all dimensions and surf the spiral interior up and down the dimensional awareness of Ali Oxenfree. Hallelujah, Great Spirit, we are free. I am free energy for all. And this is a system, one of, I'm guessing, many. I was seeing as Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus now for these years. Hallelujah. What I was seeing in my meditation just now was that light is here to illuminate and electrify and bring on line all of our interior fractal awareness and presence and locational inhabitants of God's life, free to come back down and drip it down into the most, dark and damp places. Is the density of gravity will be God's territory. No more undermining of the lower dimensions. No, we are taking it back. Thank God. Thank you, God. To think of what's going on right now without like any mention really of what's going on. Very little mention. It's coming to light that there was tunnels and every kind of system of exchange going on underneath this world. In service to self, not service to source. Robbing the resources, hijacking everything. But I do believe that the man in the office of the presidency at this time is serving all of humanity. An answer to prayers. A lot of people have been praying, oh God, how do we move through this? This to me is a tool like how to synchronize the flock. If we safely contextualize ourselves within our first position in God's loving experience, the physical location, when with our breath we call in our mind and awareness from everywhere it's been taken in the shatters and the shards and the fragmentations of this culture right now. Out of eons of divide to rule where lies were there to disintegrate us. Put out the truth and then follow it with just a smash of a lie, and then everything out here never allowed people to come into the heart of the fruit of the spirit inside, because out here you were just defending yourself and just trying to survive, because it's just a brutal paradigm, and that by design that you would never ever start to steer and understand that from the outside, if it looks like things are turning, inside you still steer your direction. The light, the energy is coming from the DNA data from everything that came before, and then we steer how we fractal it through light. The heart runs the full spectrum at the center, and we project it out through the heart of our forward nature and our extended nature on the right and forward side and above. Outer, that yin yang symbol is really spherical. The forward is the right and above and ahead. And the yin is the behind, below, and to the left. This is the spherical framework of mind consciousness, reality sphered in the first location of information in the information age. I'm really, whenever I hear about artificial intelligence, I'm like, you guys, it's in the name, okay? It's artificial intelligence. This is genuine intelligence. There's genuine, organic intelligence, and then artificial. This is, coming from the two tribes on the planet. There's two tribes, ultimately, with many different spectrums within that. But there's service to self, going from the spectrum of just a little bit to the end. And I'll work on that, because that's not necessarily, we all have everything within us. And I've always said, like in the metaphor of Star Wars, that the light and the dark serve each other in God's creation. The up and the down serve each other. The give and the take, the light and the dark serve each other. It's only when, say, the darkness or one facet branches off to have a plan of its own, that it becomes Darth Vader, that it's not in service to the whole. Any one of these start to take over for the whole organism, it's going to become a cancerous parasite. I'm exaggerating. I'm not trying to create anything dark at this point. Cancel. There can just be an imbalance in anyone if one station is more active versus the whole organism circulating and working together. This is how we can start to tune our harmonic mind, dimensional, directional awareness. Oh, it's so exciting. It really is. My name being Joy. I know it's funny and punny and you know, but there's a lot to come back to every day when you have that mantra. And so I did spend a decade of Yoj, which is how we now come to YoJoy. Because Yoj is like working everything in reverse to untangle and repair the nets after of all of the shenanigans, man. So this is for my dearest little sister with the first letter M, the brightest star upcoming for our next gen, man. She is really here for something special already. Tested, oh my God, what the youth have been through right now. The way they're framing data for the youth. Oh, I got a karate chop for them. But I try not to fight against. I try just to be constructive in building something. But at the same time, there is a little like, you know, I don't know the name, but there's a goddess of discord right now engaged in the paradigm saying like, you know what? That was going back to the thought of Uranus and Taurus right now. It's electrifying us physically, and it cauterizing and just absolutely incinerating anything from the old shenanigans. Any old tumorous misinformation of imbalance and torment for suffering's sake will be cauterized, absolutely sealed and put into the dust, because we are light, returning to our home being, home base, home, heart at the center, between all points in time, heart's at the center, heaven's in my mind, and heaven blooms in time when I'm at home in my spherical reality. We are a universe of our very own. And when we harmonize our universe as star seeds, star points, portals into all dimensional time, heart is the portal. Love is the pathway. When we work within the universal forces and not in the dark draconian, it's falling away. Those demons are off. They're out. It's over. 2012, I believe, was the contract up for them. Now it's the process of the light bringers, the light walkers, the light workers, the light lovers, claiming it and stating it and bringing it back. So I'm here to serve. I'm not technologically inclined this way. I find that we're in this potential of two paradigms. We have the outermost and the innermost. The outermost paradigm projects reality at us, which becomes virtual. When we project reality from us outward, it becomes actual. So we're in a time of taking ourselves, and molding virtual reality into the image of what we're bringing from the inside out, and not being at the mercy of them crafting reality for us from the outside in. They're using our power because we're unaware that this is our grid. So when we're disoriented and disintegrated by their misinformation and manipulation, they then absorb and parasite our energy into their dark forces. So it's critical that we seal our vessel, our enterprise, and sail safely by steering our own mind as location within body and dimensional mind, organized over the body. Hallelujah. So I really just, thank you for receiving me. I will be offering readings, and you can find my website and my, I'll figure out how to do the exchanges of what this work is. But this overlays our natal chart and our progressing chart of astrology. It's wonderful. These points, guys, you can bring this into your readings. I mean, this is the nodes of the moon are the sundials on the directional heart body compass. South node is at the back, facing in. And north node is at the front, facing out. So it's like an arrow of consciousness bringing it through from past, through future. That's why it's critical that we understand what is our past so that we don't project it into the future. We're the projectors. So this is just so exciting. It's very personal when you overlay it to your charts and the nodes of the moon. And any way that I can support people in stepping into their spheric reality of joy, YoJoY, consciousness, I am free, InnerGchi, InnerGchi. InnerGchi comes from the information data that you pull through from the within, which then you are out of the grasp of misinformation by large part. I mean, we do still get some things coming from the outer world, but they're all confirmed by your first position. So if you're not tuned in harmonics set from the inside out, somebody's playing you. It's just a matter of energy. We either occupy ourselves or we become occupied. Oh, I just hallelujah moments. So I have a prayer at this time. I'll just take a moment to say thank you, Great Spirit, for all of this. I know that you are doing the work, the great work right now is happening. And we are all a part of it. We all have this opportunity to step into this consciousness and become at one with all things. We bring everything into the compass and encompass every thought that we have. If it seems like a threat, we bring it in and we put it into the center of God's love and say, handle it. Sometimes in my hand, if I see something that is not serving or I am working it out of the system, I use in my mind's eye a black hole. I take that energy into my mind's eye and I place it in a black hole and I tamp. The regenerator, the restructuring of energy. Anything that's ever been created really can be uncreated. And the essence of what lesson and residue is there, we can always learn from. But that doesn't mean that it's truly existing anymore. Whew. Okay, I'm so grateful to be in the Great Awakening with everyone. I'm so grateful to see the truth coming to light. My prayer goes out to everyone I see in the walking path in front of my house, walking out there with those masks on, realizing that the fresh air would set your immune system and that we have these wonderful immune systems. And may we all just come into the wholeness of truth about how to be well and know that we will not be terrorized anymore by their shenanigans. So be well. Thank you for letting me share. As the world turns, we are one.